Retiring in the San Miguel's, episode 28, the big new Golden Mermaid kitchen. One of the major reasons I bought this villa was the kitchen/dining room setup. It has one huge dining room, enough to fit, 30, maybe 40 people, and it's flanked on each side by a kitchen. The original kitchen on one side was turned into an office, but it still has tiles and on the wall and a sink, so it could be easily turned back into a kitchen. And the other kitchen was part of a new extension to one side, which has a kitchen and extended build out with a hallway and a staircase. My older brother Simon, who has been in the restaurant business for most of his life, decided that he wanted to move to Azores with me. He also told me he finally wanted to open up his own restaurant, a part-time one, as he wanted to stop working the 60 to 80 hours per week schedule that he currently has. Well, with that news, I decided that I would need to build out a commercial kitchen in the villa. We could create more space by turning this hallway staircase into a pantry. I would design the space to keep all the water and electrical needs on the outside wall where it'd be easy to get to, and I'd keep all the existing walls and add a floor and build an additional new wall. And I would keep all the existing windows where they are and use the existing chimney for exhaust. I talked to my politician friend Marco. I asked him if I had to submit a plan to some government agency to get approval. Well, he got me a meeting with the city architect, and she decided that I didn't need a permit, as I wouldn't be changing anything on the outside or changing the number of beds or moving anything structural. They did tell me that I couldn't have anything wood in the kitchen, the commercial kitchen. They all had to be tile or stainless steel. I contacted 2 restaurant supply stores. One came, took measurements, took my plan, gave me a bid on the equipment. The other came, took measurements, didn't listen to anything I had to say, and designed a layout that they said would pass inspection. They both asked for what kind of food we were planning on serving. Was it a pizza joint, a Chinese restaurant, or a burger place? As each would be designed differently. But my brother wasn't sure. He wanted to cook everything, so I just had to sort of figure out a more generic and flexible layout. So Marco got me 2 contractors who he highly suggested that could do a lot of the work. But, one didn't speak any English and the other one spoke a little bit. I moved the new kitchen back into the old kitchen so we could remove all the cabinets and the tile on the floor of the new kitchen. I thought it would take a long time to do, but they did most of that in like one day. I tried to find the same size tile, the white tile on the wall, but I could not, so we ended up removing all the white wall tile as well. The floor was a different level in the dining room and also in the hallway, but I wanted all those 3 rooms to be at the same level, so we would have to build up the floor in both the kitchen and the new pantry. Once we finished the floor, everybody told me that I should actually remove that wall dividing the pantry and the kitchen. I mean, I loved the idea, but I was unsure if it would cause issues due to the plans that we sent to the city had a wall. Marco said, well, they might not notice it or care, so I decided to take down the wall. The whole space was huge as one room, which made the existing design suboptimal. So what bothered me before was the dirty dishes would come through the window and had to be transferred across the room to the washing station. Plus all the refrigerators were way in the back and needed to be transferred to the front all the time. So I designed the washing station to be now on the same side as the window, and the refrigerators are now in the middle. Much better design. The inside wall was going to be all fixed with a nice stone countertop and tile and concrete supports. Even though my brother said, I should just do everything of stainless steel and just have tables that we can move around. But on two walls, I figured we would have, stainless steel tables and appliances. And I heavily debated to have one of the walls where all the cooking appliances to actually also be done with a concrete foundation. As having a solid concrete base would mean that you wouldn't have to get underneath things to clean, as food gets everywhere, and I really wanted to make this kitchen easy to clean, and I wanted to have one level where everything is made, so that you wouldn't have to be lifting up materials up and down, and it's just easier to work when everything is on one consistent level. But I didn't know what appliances, other than the griddle, which they actually call a fry top here in Portugal. So it's very hard to plan out this kitchen. I did research on stone countertops, as I couldn't have one made out of wood, with laminates on top. I never actually had a stone countertop, so this was all new to me. Now, I did research, and it said, quartz countertops were the best, as they were very affordable and very hard. But I found when I was searching in the Azores, they didn't actually have quartz. That, marble and granite was the way to go and what was available. And I picked the granite because it was harder and more affordable. And I got this black one with white speckles, and it looks great. It worked with the gray tiles and the white walls. So it's all this monochrome look, which I really liked. With the new design, I now had to plumb new water, sewage, and electrical into the walls and floor. It was a big issue cutting new channels into the wall and pouring concrete over it. And we made the mistake of installing electrical into the walls before having our design set in stone. So we ended up having to remove all these new plastic electrical conduits that we put in the wall. So it's just a lot of work that we ended up redoing. And then we decided we also had to remove the bottom of the concrete chimney so we could install a new exhaust hood. The place looked like a war zone with dust and debris all over the place. At first, the work seemed like it was going very fast, but then the time to do the tile, it slowed down because we had to do a lot of cutting, and it ended up going very slow. I mean, the two local contractors were great. They came and left like clockwork, to the church bells that ring next door, which ring at 8 for them to come to work, and then they ring at noon to take lunch, and then ring at 1 to come back from lunch, and then they also ring at 5 to stop work. They worked Monday through Saturday, the 6 days a week, and they didn't take many breaks. They cleaned up and put some things away at the end of the day, and asked some questions about what I wanted, and suggested ways that we can improve the design. So I was overall very happy with that. So I had a exhaust contractor come in to figure out how to put a commercial hood, to take the exhaust out of the cooking area. We thought we were going to use the existing chimney, but he said that this required a 30 by 30 centimeter opening, and the chimney only had a 20 by 20. So we ended up cutting this big 30 by 30 centimeter hole into the wall and put this huge fan on the outside, which looked horrible, but very commercial. I mean, it looked much better after we painted it. And I had the carpenter put up these PVC planks on the ceiling, and next to the white tile walls, it looked modern and clean, very nicely. My brother finally arrived on the island, so then we could go to the restaurant supply stores and pick an oven. And we picked a big one with a humidifier in it, and this oven was huge and required a 3-phase electrical plug. Then he ordered a 5,000 watt induction top, which also required another 3-phase plug. They took a while for all of it to come in. We got the electrical fry top, which only required a 220 plug, and all 3 appliances just barely fit on this custom stainless steel table we had made for the space. We had it made on rollers so we could move it around so we could get behind it and clean behind and underneath the space, and it'd be easy because it rolled around. So most of the work has been done. We're still waiting for some stainless steel shelves to come in so we can organize everything. But we spent about 30,000 euros on this kitchen, which was really a little bit under budget. And I guess this kitchen would cost way more in the US. So we cooked our first meal on the fry top, hash browns, toast, and eggs, and it was delicious. It took a while to get started, but now I sometimes have 4 different crews working on different projects. So hopefully the Golden Mermaid Villa will be ready for operations in a few short months.